Well, in the stock market this year, we've talked about the work from home trend benefiting a whole host of different businesses. And that includes Citrix, which is a company that provides technology solutions that allows for just that, for employees to work from home. Used by thousands and thousands of organizations, and they have seen their revenue pick up big time. The stock's up 30% this year. The company's CEO is participating in the Collision Conference this week, which is being done virtually because of the pandemic. David Henshall is the CEO of Citrix, and he joins us now. David, thanks for being with us. You know, your stock has come up in our programming several times over the last few months. To better understand how the business works, maybe you can give us a quick description of Citrix.
Sure. Great to be here, John. Citrix is an organization that effectively provides tools and technologies to enable secure remote work. The Citrix digital workspace, you can think of it as a framework to be able to deliver all of your business critical resources, whether those are applications, files, collaboration tools, and do it securely, do it in a seamless manner that is effective for employees, regardless of whether you're operating in a physical office, on the road as a road warrior, or in the current situation where we're largely working from home. Provides that level of infrastructure to allow people to be productive on their terms, while for IT organizations, allow them the ability to deliver secure services, manage them effectively, and provide great insights in terms of the experience that employees are receiving.
So heading into COVID-19, there's already, as I mentioned, lots of businesses around the world that are using Citrix and allowing for that to happen. But walk us through what happens when the pandemic hits and how your business has to respond.
It's a great question, John. We actually anticipated this probably in the January timeframe based on the experience that we saw with our teams in China. We recognized that this might be something that was going to spread on a more widespread basis. So what we did is we stepped back and we created a number of solutions for customers. Now, for new customers, they would be simple, easy to onboard connectivity solutions. For our existing customers, which, as you mentioned, includes most large businesses around the world, some easy ability to scale, some cloud licenses, burst capacity, if you will, that allow them to really focus on moving large groups of populations to remote work in a short order. And in some cases, just providing free infrastructure to first responders or businesses in need, recognizing that this is going to be a major challenge. And incredibly proud of our teams. They worked around the clock to troubleshoot, debug, and just work with customers on making sure that they could ensure safety and security and productivity of their teams.
One thing, David, I think a lot of people have wondered whether it's just the way their job is going to unfold in the future, or maybe they're watching the market. And as I mentioned, they've seen this whole work from home boom. And certainly we've seen companies like yours at the center of that story. They're wondering, well, okay, is this just something that is going to be alive and well during the COVID-19 pandemic, or is this part of a transformational shift? And we heard from the CEO of Airbnb earlier, who talked about the dramatic change in corporate travel that may never go back to what it was. How are you looking at the future? How should people think about whether this is something that's going to benefit your business short term, or whether this is part of a fundamental shift long term?
It's a great question. It's an important topic that I'm having a lot of conversations with CEOs about right now. And I think a lot of companies entered this period thinking that remote work was a short-term fix to COVID-19 and the pandemic. And now they're just stepping back and realizing that their teams have been incredibly productive, more so than even being in the office. And so I think you're going to see a lot of businesses look at this as more of a hybrid work model going forward, where you can leverage the physical presence for those types of activities that are frankly best performed live. Things like innovation, collaboration, constructive debate, or even expanding culture. But work is an activity. Work is really not a place. And so give people the tools and the infrastructure to be productive wherever they are, I think is a great resource, and frankly, some of the trends that we were seeing even before the pandemic started. And so most organizations are taking that step back, and the conversations that I have include CEOs and IT decision makers talking about a reduction in commercial real estate of 25, 30, 40% in some cases, as well as changes in travel that you just mentioned.
Wow. Well, those are big numbers when you consider big companies reducing their commercial footprint by that amount. Just in terms of the other things we have to think about as work from home becomes a bigger part of the story, security. So, I mean, you guys have handled security questions for years and years. Obviously, you want to make sure that you can offer these different tools and solutions, but do it in a secure fashion. What's the number one thing that you're thinking about on the security front, just given how quickly all this is moving to work from home?
Yeah, part of the challenge is just the era of technology we're in right now. We've often referred to it as the cloud mobile era, where you have just a proliferation of independent devices and services all connected together as part of a corporate infrastructure. And really what that's done practically is distribute the security challenge out to the endpoints. And from our point of view, it really raises the importance of something like a digital workspace to be able to put that into a container that can be delivered in a more secure fashion with the right level of analytics and management on top of that, so that the IT side of the house can have a really good understanding of what people are trying to transact with, what looks like anomalous behaviors, and be able to respond and react to that in real time. So I think it's an incredibly important topic right now, and it's one that the level of risk has certainly gone up dramatically in this period of time.
All right, and then if we keep thinking about how your business will evolve, if I think about the work from home boom and other names that people have talked about, they frequently talk about a business like Netflix. Now, Netflix is a subscription business. There is a subscription component to what you do. Can you just elaborate on that?
Actually, about 75% of our new revenue is coming in via subscription these days. If you look at our financial numbers from Q1, our subscription revenue is actually up about 89% year over year. Annualized recurring revenue is the way that we encourage investors to look at the company. It's, and the ARR has been growing at about 50% year on year. So like a lot of businesses, as we've transitioned from a traditional software deployment model to one of collection of services, it just lends itself more directly to subscriptions. And so right now we've been transforming the business for 3-4 years now, and we're well on our way. We're 3/4 of the way through at this point.
Interesting. David, thanks very much. Good to get your insight. Obviously a huge change that's happening. David Henshall, the CEO of Citrix, joining us.